Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Liaquat and welcome to this video of Mukhtasar al-Qudoori, and we are in lesson number 55. So let's start with this then. So asabat, what does this mean? From asaba, yusibu, isabatan, means to touch something or to afflict. Right, so afflict, touch, musiba is from the same word as well. Najasa, you guys should know this from before. Mughalladha is ism maf'ul. غلظ يغلظ تغليظ ism maf'ul, and it means to be severe, to be harsh, to be strong, tough. Kaddam, dam is blood, bowl is urine, gha'it is defecation, khamar or feces. Khamar is alcohol, but it's specific to alcohol which is made from grapes and dates, according to Abu Hanifa. Miqdar is measurement. Dirham, silver coins. You guys should know this as well. Well, actually, you might not know this. Silver coins. And وَمَا دُونَ جَازَتْ جَازَ يَجُوزُ جَازَتْ, it means to be allowed, permitted. جَازَ يَجُوزُ. Okay, lam yajuz, this is the mudari version of it. And asabat, who done that. Mukhaffafa is ism maf'ul. Mukhaffafatun. And kabaul. Right, so mukhaffafatun means like something that's light, opposite of mughalladha. Yu'kal, akala ya'kulu, to eat, so it's eaten. Something that's eaten, lahmuhu, it's flesh, it's meat. In other words, an animal that we eat, that Muslims are allowed to eat, is called ma yu'kal lahmuhu, whose meat is eaten. Tablugh, balagha yablughu, to reach. Rub'u is a quarter. Okay, so quarter. And thob, it means clothing. Right, so clothing. Alright, so now let's do the tarkib of this then. So وَمَنْ أَصَابَتْهُ مِنَ النَّجَاسَةِ الْمُغَلَّظَةِ, whoever is afflicted with a najasa that's mughalladha. So man, this can be mawsul, or it can be shart as well. Mawsul or shart. Asabathu is the fi'l, and who is the maf'ul bihi. Minan najasatil mughalladha. Now see, this min is actually, although it's jar, majroor, it's actually zaida. So the minan najasati, that's actually the fa'il of asabatu. So this happens sometimes where you have an harf jar preposition, but the preposition is zaida. It doesn't really function in translation. It's there just for ta'keed, emphasis. So here this would be ism fa'il. Mughalladha would be the sifa. So najasa would be the mawsuf, mughalladha is the sifa. And then you got the kaddam, well, kaf is jar, dam is ma'tuf alayhi, and then all those words are just ma'tufs. So bowl is ma'tuf, gha'it is ma'tuf, khamr is ma'tuf, right? So you got like three ma'tufs over there. Ma'tuf and ma'tuf alayhi, you got three ma'tufs, right? So you put them all together, they become majroor of the kaf. Okay, so then you got miqdar ad-dirhami. So miqdar is mudaf and dirham is mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf plus the mudaf ilayhi. This is I see this word actually takes a nasab. The reason it takes nasab, many of you guys might not know this, is because this is what we call naz'ul khafid. Naz'u, different color. So naz'u al-khafid, nasab ala naz'il khafid. So basically when you remove a harf jar, you actually replace it with this. And ma, right, so that's mawsul, and then dunahu is mudaf ilay, becomes the dharf, and then jazat is the fi'l, as-salatu is the fa'il. Right, so you got fi'l there, you got fa'il there, you got ma'ahu is the mudaf ilayhi, and then wa in zada lam yajuz, in is shartiya, zada is the fi'l plus the fa'il, lam yajuz is the fi'l plus the fa'il, and that becomes the jaza. In zada is the shart, and I'll show you guys, I'll highlight the jazas and the sharts in a bit. Wa in asabat, in is shart again, asabat, who, asabat is fi'l, who is the maf'ul bihi, najasatun mukhaffafatun is the fa'il. Okay, that's mawsuf and sifa put together, that becomes the fa'il. So kabaul is kaf is jar, like we did before, and is mudaf, bowl. And then ma is mawsul, يؤكل is the fi'l majhul مضارع واحد مذكر غائب, and actually it's not the naib. Take that. The naib fa'il is actually the next one. Mudaf plus the mudaf ilay, lahmuhu becomes the naib fa'il of this. So jazat as-salatu, so sila mawsul put together becomes the mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf plus mudaf ilayhi becomes majroor of jar. Jazat is fi'l, as-salatu is the fa'il, then ma'ahu is mudaf ilayhi, and then ma lam tablugh, ma, this is what we call ma dama, ma mastariyah. So tablugh is the fi'l plus the fa'il, the najasa is the fa'il here, and rub' al-thawbi mudaf ilayhi, that becomes the maf'ul bihi. Okay, so that's basically the tarkib. And now the translation, I think translation by now you guys should be able to really do yourselves. Have a go at it. Maybe you can put in the comments as well. So okay, so what is it basically saying? What's the masla basically saying then? So the masla basically is saying this. This masla is talking about what we call actually let me just, I did say I'm gonna, so this ma madama, it converts everything after it into masdar mu'awwal, right? And then so all of this is the shart, right? And then jazat as-salatu ma'ahu is the jaza, and then in zada lam yajuz, so in zada is the shart and lam yajuz is the jaza, and then in asabatu najas mukhaffafa kabawli ma yakul lahmuhu is the shart, jaz salat until the end is all the jaza. Alright, let's look at the masla then. So the masla basically is talking about impurities now. So there's two types of impurities that the Hanafis discuss. One is something which is known as najasa ghalidha, mughalladha, and one is mukhaffafa. Right, so why are impurities divided in two types? Simply because the evidence that has proved them, there's difference in it. Right, so the evidence, if the evidence is categorical, if it's very strong, then they call that najasa strong najasa, meaning heavy najasa. And if the evidence to prove that is not as strong, there's speculation in there, then they say this is najasa, but it's not as strong as the previous one. So the rulings are slightly easier. So for instance, like mughalladha, right? What are the mughalladha ones? So that the ones that they mention is blood, urine, feces, defecation, and khamr, alcohol. These are, is known as mughalladha because the evidences to prove these are very categorical, and so they are like absolutely impure. Okay, so the rule for this is that if anyone has these things, one of these four things on their clothing whilst they're praying salat, and it's less than the size of a dirham. So the size of a dirham is like, imagine you put your thumb on your fingers together and the gap in between, right, like that, or 2 pence coin. It's basically like that. So if it's less than that, then you can pray your salat will be valid. But if it's more than that, right, so this is if it's less than that, meaning the Sharia will forgive you for that. Like it will let you off, because this is something that's very hard to avoid. People generally, you might have small little impurities on your body, so the Sharia lets that much off. Okay, and where did they get this amount from? So this is something which is interesting because they actually compare this amount is based upon the area, the size of the rectum itself. So the size of the rectum itself, when a person defecates, that's how much roughly the kind of size of the rectum that they have. So they say that basically in the days of the Sahaba, they used to use stones to clean themselves. So they would have had roughly about that much amount on the area of the body anyway, the rear passage. They would have had roughly that amount on there. So because they allowed salat despite all of that, that kind of gives us this kind of like permissibility to say, okay, well, if you've got this much on your body, it's actually it's okay. It's not the best thing to do to clean it, but your salat will be okay. But if it's more than this, then there's no excuse for it. So if it's greater than the size of a dirham, silver coin, then your salat is not accepted, and you will have to repeat your salat again, and you have to clean yourself. That's if it's mughalladha, okay? But if it's mukhaffafa, so the mukhaffafa is where it's a light impurity. In other words, evidence for it as not categorical, and there's ikhtilaf in there. So for example, he gives one example. He says the urine of animals that you can eat, Muslims can eat, like cows, sheep, camels, horses, etc. their urine, there's a difference of opinion among scholars of whether this is impure or not. So that's why they are treated as mukhaffafa. So what's the rule? You can have up to a quarter of your clothes affected with it. So if you've got a quarter of your clothes affected with it, then your salat is acceptable. Alright, so imagine there's a person. Now what do you mean by a quarter of the clothes? So a quarter of the clothes, there's a difference of opinion amongst the Hanafis themselves, but roughly they kind of say, well, let's take a garment, trousers. So you divide the trousers into two, right? So split into two. So there's two sides there, and then just divide each two into half. So imagine, like, let's just divide in the middle there. So let's say that you had that much. If it's up to a quarter, it's okay. More than a quarter, then just like the dirham issue, you'd have to repeat the salat again. And like a shirt, if you were to divide in two, and you had divide that again into two, so just about roughly that much. You kind of gotta look at it yourself. You leave it to the discretion of the onlooker. So anyway, that's basically the mas'ala. So in asabatu min najasatin mughalladati, man asabatu, whoever is being afflicted with najasa mughallada, heavy impurity or strong impurity, like blood and urine and feces and khamr, alcohol, miqdar ad-dirham, the amount of a dirham, wa ma dunahu, and anything less than it. Dunahu means less. Ma dunahu jazat as-salatu ma'ahu, salat is permitted with that impurity. Wa in zada, but if it's more than that, lam yajuz, it's not permissible. Wa in asabatu najasatun mukhaffafatun, and if najasa mukhaffafa affects a person, like the urine of those, that flesh that we can eat. So this excludes pigs, this excludes dogs, excludes cats and other things. Jazat is salat ma'ahu, salat is permitted. Ma lam tablugh ruba thawb, so long as it does not reach the amount of a quarter of a part of your clothing. And that's it basically. I hope you guys understood that. If you have any questions or anything, put in the comments, inshallah. So these are questions that you guys can answer in the comments. What is najasa mughallada? What is najasa mukhaffafa? How much of each kind of person have on them for the prayer to be accepted? What's the ruling of a person who prayed with half of their shirt with horse urine? Have a go at that. So jazakumullah khair, and I will see you guys next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much to all my patrons. Jazakumullah khair. Alhamdulillah, with all of your support, with all of your efforts and your encouragement and motivation, alhamdulillah, this channel has reached where it has today. And there's so much left that I want to do, and there's editing, and there's trying to start new projects as well and get other people involved so that I can focus on producing content. So if you guys want to become patrons and you want to support this channel, then check out the link in the description. Inshallah, there's also videos available for those who are patrons in the Patreon itself that I don't put on my normal YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check that out, inshallah, links in the description, like I said. And jazakumullah khair, share it with other people. Let me know what you guys think as well. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.